Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. So today is 7th September. Let's see what we have inside in for you today. This is me and my working experience. This is WhatsApp and Telegram group where you can join in via the links given in the description section below. This is the IGP program where the registration has already started and one of the session has been conducted by Robin Kuldasa and the upcoming session will be conducted by Shri Anil Swarup sir on 10th September 2023 at 11:30 am. Whoever wants to join, you can join in via the scanning this code given in this particular slide. Let's start with today's analysis. Ki koise? Supreme Court judgments on property rights on children born out of void, state of food security and nutrition in the world, concerns regarding UCBs, UPI crosses 10 billion monthly transactions, minimum export price for rice and some of the prelims facts. The first thing which you can see over here is the Supreme Court judgments on property rights of children born out of void. Void বুলি ক'লে আমি কি বুজো? Or void marriage. First আমি এই দুটা term জানিবলৈ লাগিব আমাক. Void marriage. Void marriage is what? See, it is one that is considered invalid from the very beginning as if it never existed in the eyes of laws. And therefore, a voidable marriage is a marriage that is initially valid but has certain defects or conditions that can lead to an annulment if one of the parties choose to do so. So, recently Supreme Court has ruled that children born out of this void or voidable marriages can inherit their parents' share in a joint Hindu family property under the Mitakshara law. So, yata eta law kotha koa goise jitu koiso ami Mitakshara. Okay, so you should know basically about that what is this Mitakshara law. Ami janibo lage bila bostu. See, when we say about Mitakshara logote there is one another thing which is known as Daya Bhaga law. Okay, so when we say about Mitakshara, so we have to think about even the Daya Bhaga law. So Daya Bhaga law boli kole ami ki buzu? See, it's a partition of the co-parcenary property that can be imposed by any adult party, whether male or a female. So you can say about that what is an example of Mitakshara. So see, under Mitakshara, a son can be a property owner with respective to his descendants. Okay, aru yate eta particular difference ase Mitakshara aru Daya Bhagar majot. See, Mitakshara is commonly practiced in North and Western India, but Daya Bhaga is practiced mainly in Eastern India. And the concept of joint family and co-parency is given additional weight here. Okay, so এই বস্তুকিটা অকমান জানাটো আমাৰ কাৰণে অলপ important হৈ যায় about the Mitakshara law which can be seen in an Hindu joint family. Okay, আৰু ইয়াৰ লগত basically এটা case জড়িত হৈ আছে which is known to be Revana Siddappa versus Mallikarjun case of 2011. এই কেসটো জড়িত হৈ আছে. And therefore, recently, what Supreme Court has directly said? Supreme Court ruled that determining inheritance share, kiman kini property pabo, what is the legal basis of that particular inheritance, what is the type of inheritance that can be received by the legitimate kin, and what type of impact it will have towards the Hindu Succession Amendment Act of 2005. So, এই বস্তুস বিলাক আমাৰ বহুত বেছি important হৈ যায়. Okay. So, এইখিনি karone we have to know about that why the Hindu Succession Act is important, and you should also know about the categories of how Hindu Succession Act came into prominence and from which particular time period this Hindu Succession Act was basically in use. So, এইবিলাক আমি জানিব লাগিব আৰু আমাক যদি মই আজি অসমৰ কথা কওঁ অসমত you cannot find the Mitakshara law very prominent. Okay, Mitakshara law to ক'ত পাবা Mitakshara law very prominent. Mitakshara to ক'ত পাবা in regions like Maharashtra, Dravida schools, Mithila, এইবিলাক জেগাত পাবা মানে North আৰু Western India. But যদি মই কওঁ আমাৰ বেংগল আৰু আসামৰ লগত তাতে কি থাকে Daya Bhaga law, that is important. Daya Bhaga law ইয়াতে পায়. Okay, so এইটো কাৰণে since এইকেইটা বস্তু নিউজত আছে, so you have to know about this particular case and the respective Hindu Marriage Succession Act. ওকে সো এই বস্তুটো জানাটো আমাৰ কাৰণে ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট কোৱেশ্চন দি থৈছো চাই লবা নেক্সট কি দি আছে ষ্টেট অফ ফুড সিকিউৰিটি এণ্ড নিউট্ৰিশ্যন ইন দ্য ৱৰ্ল্ড SOFI 2023 so এটো কি হয় see recently this report was published by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization যেটো আমি কওঁ FAO বুলি আৰু এটোৱে কি কৰে it highlights the growing disparity between the cost of nutritious meal and economic realities faced by a significant portion of Indian population আৰু এই ৰিপৰ্টখনত কি হাইলাইট কৰি আছে গ্লোবাল হাংগাৰ হাইলাইট কৰি আছে নিউট্ৰিশনাল এক্সেস কৰি আছে চাইল্ড মালনিউট্ৰিশনৰ কথা কৈ আছে আৰবানাইজেশ্যন ইম্প্যাক্ট অন ডায়েটৰ কথা কৈ আছে দেন ৰুৰাল ডিপেন্ডেন্স অন গ্লোবাল মাৰ্কেটছৰ কথা কৈ আছে তো এই গুটেখিনি কথা ইয়াত ডাইৰেক্টলি ইম্প্যাক্ট কৰাই গৈ আছে okay so you have to think about the key highlights which are reported to this particular report in India so আজি জানো that the cost of a healthy diet in India is very costly okay and even we have got various case studies be it Mumbai be it Kolkata okay and therefore today also we cannot even ensure some of the food security in each and every person in this country tar karone amar bahut sikini initiatives loa goise national food security act ase food security mission ase national agriculture market nam food processing mission ek gute bostu kini ase minimum support price ase pradhan mantri fasal bima yojana ase horticulture mission ase e bahut kini bostu ase so therefore today this report which basically lays down its principle and its focused on the growing disparity between the cost of nutritious meal and the economic realities faced by a significant portion of Indian population is seen in this particular report yat gute kini report dia ase abar bhalke sai loba okay এটা মই কোৱেশ্চন দি থৈ দিছো নেক্সট কনসার্নিং রিগার্ডিং UCB তো UCB urban cooperative banks কি হয় এবিলা so these are financial institutions that operate in urban and semi urban areas and therefore they are registered under the Cooperative Societies Act and they are functioning as cooperative entities owned and operated by their respective members so আজি যদি মই কওঁ that UCBs are governed by board of directors which are elected by their members and they are operating on their cooperative principle but they are regulated and supervised by the Reserve Bank of India eto mon rakhiba ঠিক আছে আৰু যিখিনি urban cooperative banks আছে হেখিনি history ketia back to 1904 to 1966 first phase of urban cooperative banks okay তাছত লাহে লাহে expansion hol and lapsot reforms aru consolidation hol and today we can see that the urban cooperative banks is basically financing the agro or rural industries, trade and urban industries up to a certain limit. But when we say about the commercial banks, it will provide basic services to individuals and businesses without any limit. Okay, so hetu karone aji urban jekini cooperative banks or kotha koise RBI governor flex concern about UCBs asks directors to strengthen governance. Mane aji jiman kini yate anomalies hoy ase, jiman kini yate corruption hoy ase, jiman kini yate thik ke kam hoi thaka nai সেই কামখিনিকে ইয়াতে ৰেগুলেট কৰিবলৈ আজি এই ডাকৰ কথা ইয়াতে শক্তিকান্ত দাসে আমাৰ গভৰ্ণৰে ইয়াতে বহুতখিনি কথা কোৱা গৈছে ওকে সো ইয়াত কিছুমান টায়াৰ 1 টায়াৰ 2 cities 3 4 cities অত কেনেকৈ চলাব লাগে সেইখিনি কথা কৈছে সো আজি কনসার্নস কিমানখিনি আছে ফাইনান্সিয়াল ভালনাৰেবিলিটিৰ পইচা নাই গভৰ্নেন্স ইস্যুজ আছে কমপ্লায়েন্স চ্যালেঞ্জেস আছে ৰিস্ক ম্যানেজমেন্ট আছে ক্ৰেডিট ৰিস্ক আছে লিকুইডিটি ৰিস্ক আছে ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ এণ্ড সাইবার সিকিউৰিটি কথা আছে সো এই গুটে বস্তুখিনি আমি অলপ চাব লাগিব দ্যাট ইজ ওয়ান অফ দি বেসিক ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট তাৰপৰত আৰবিআই ৰিকমেন্ডেশনস দিছে ৰিস্ক ম্যানেজমেন্ট কমপ্লায়েন্স ইন্টাৰনাল অডিট okay so এইবিলাক চলাব লাগে তেতিয়াহে আমি বেসিকলি পাওয়ারফুলি দেখা পাম okay so all these things are very important and are given recommendations by the RBI so etu kane user asile so you should know basically about what is UCB okay tarpot monthly based or monthly UPI based transactions exceed 10 billion for first time UPI ki hoy unified payments interface so it's a payment system that has cut across the Indian socio-economic digital divide amazingly fast so it's an advanced version of what immediate payment service round the clock fund transfer service to make cashless payments faster easier and smoother okay আৰু ইণ্ডিয়াৰ যেটো UPI এটো কোৰ লগত লিংক হৈ আছে Singapore's Pay Now okay and today we know that digital transactions through UPI has recorded a phenomenal growth and that is post demonetization to aru beshi hoi goise okay but yes challenges ami pai asu in the terms of cybercrime there is a malicious software which is known as Cerberus etu ki hoy it's basically a type of malicious software which is associated with cybercrime okay so আজি ইয়াতে কোৱা গৈছে যে monthly base যিখিনি UPI transactions হয় হেখিনি 10 billion কে exceed হৈ গৈছে for the first time which is a great rise Okay, so ইয়াতে NPCI কথা অলপ কোৱা আছে. So NPCI কি হয়? Umbrella organization হয় for operating retail payments and settlement systems in India, and it's an initiative of RBI and Indian Banks Association. Okay, মোক এটা কথা কৈ দিয়া যে NPCI টো এটা profit organization হয় নে not for profit organization হয় হেতু মোক কৈ দিয়া ইয়াতে. Okay, in the comment section. So এটা গুটেখিনি দিয়া আছে ভালকে চাই লবা UPI বুলি কলে এবিলাক আমি সবেই জানো. Okay, চলো question দিয়া আছে এটা চাই লবা. Lastly, minimum export price for rice. So etia India's production for both rice and wheat has all-time hit high this year in 2022, not this year, last year, and this has been given by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Our Karne, the government has set up a minimum export price of US dollar 1200 ton on basmati rice shipments in a move aimed at reaching domestic prices. ঠিক আছে তো আজি যদি মই কওঁ rice production, so rice production have escalated some humongous amounts, and today we can see that India is one of the topmost country exporting rice. Okay, আৰু তাৰ কাৰণে আজি বহুতখিনি steps লোৱা গৈছে আৰু এই steps খিনি কাৰণে today we could see that India is producing humongous amount of rice. But yate the case for uniform minimum export price for rice without basmati distinction. So yate kyon news ase? Because we can see that agricultural landscape has seen a wave of supply side actions in form of export restrictions and trade controls. And therefore, there is a minimum export price that has been set that iman khini lokehe export koribo paribo, yatke beshi shoot up hoi gole export koribo nware. Okay, so therefore today there are various number of initiatives which has been taken by the government to curb rice and wheat exports. Okay, so you can see prohibiting the export of broken rice, 20% duty imposed kori, government ban exports of white non-basmati rice. Okay, 20% duty was introduced on all paraboiled and non-basmati rice export. So eblak kihor karone? To tame exports and to also meet the demand of the domestic consumption. Okay, so hetu karone aji etu minimum export price eta di dia goise aru a minimum export price to reply we can curb the upcoming exports and can also settle something which is associated with the domestic demand that we can see in our respective society. Okay, so that's how para aji the how the production went up. Okay, muk yate eta kotha kobo lage tumaluke je which are the top rice producing states in our country, muk comment section ot kwa aru eta muk kobo para je if I say about rice, okay, which we all know that India is the second largest producer of rice after China. Okay, so jodi moi aji rice buli kotha eta kau, so if I say about rice, I have asked you the question that which are the states which are going with the highest production of rice. Okay, tar oporot muk eta kotha koa je if I say about rice, rice grows on which type of soil? Okay, rice kuntu type of soil ot grow hoy. Okay, to muk rice or gutekhini details koa kuntu soil ot grow hoy ase, how many states, major producing states, kuntu temperature ot rice grow hoy ase. Okay, also you have to say that rice is a kharif crop or rabi crop or jade crop ki hoy to muk kobo lage, and if you can find some of the 3 crops of rice which are basically grown in our country, hegita kolo I'll be happy. Okay, so ei gita bostu jegita mo khodilu hegita mo yate koi dia. Okay, so etu karone etu nijor asile ete mo eta directly thoi disu. You can see question eta model case study disu, you can solve it. Prelims facts keteman ase new PepsiCo plan buli kole it's an American multinational food snack and beverage corporation which is headquartered in Harrison, New York. Okay, aru etu PepsiCo to form ketia hoisile 1965 with the merger of whom? Pepsi plus Coca-Cola. Okay, Pepsi plus Cola company. So hetu karone aji ami janu je this PepsiCo plant is a very important plant all across the world. So aji yate PepsiCo India is setting up a food manufacturing plant in Nalbari, Assam with an investment of 778 crore. Aru to ketile complete hobo 2025. Etu jani thoba bahut important hoy. Okay, tarpsot ASEAN denies Myanmar chairmanship for 2026. So ASEAN buli kole ki buju? The Association of Southeast Asian Nation. Muk comment section ot kwa je how many member nations are there in the ASEAN? 10 kon ase, 10 kon countries nam muk comment section ot kwa. Okay, aru eta kobo para je ASEAN secretariat kor ase, in which particular important city of this particular 10 states. Okay, So ASEAN বুলি ক'লে কি ক'লো মই Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which is a regional organization established to promote political and social stability amid rising tensions among the Asia Pacific post-colonial state. আৰু এতিয়া এই ASEAN leaders বিলাকে decide কৰিছে যে Myanmarক opportunity নিদিও because of the rotating leadership in 2026. কিহৰ কাৰণে? It is just because Myanmar's ruling generals who have been seeking international recognition of the seeking power violently in 2021. তেখেতসকলৰ যিটো মিলিটাৰী জান্তা হয় তেখেতসকলে এটা পাৱাৰ লৈ ক্লেম কৰি আছে the people who are basically democratic or civilian organization তেখেতসকলক পাৱাৰ দিয়া নাই তো এটো কাৰণে ASEANে since military rule চলি আছে এইখন কান্ট্ৰি তো তেখেতসকলে ASEAN membership to তেখেতক দিব বিচৰা নাই তো এটো কাৰণে ASEAN নিউজত আছে Myanmar নিউজত আছে you can also say that how many important rivers directly flows through Myanmar এটো মোক ক'ব পাৰা যদি নোৱাৰা তেতিয়া হলে এটা আমাৰ ইনিশিয়েটিভ আছে which is the river in Myanmar and we have got a collaboration with the river Ganga of India. So hey project to naam to ki mukhe to comment section on kwa. Okay, so that is all for today from our side.